We often suffer more than our response to a difficulty than from the difficulty itself. Panic and anxiety don't lessen what we are facing, they magnify it. 'Tis safest, when in fear, to force the attack. The fear of any future difficulties or misfortune is so natural to the mind. That's where a man's sorrows and disequities summed up at the end of his life. It would generally be found that he had suffered more from the apprehension of such evils as never happened to him, than from those evils which had really befallen him. To this we may add that among those evils which befall us, there are many which have been more painful to us in the prospect than by their actual pressure. The mass of men led lives of quiet desperation. When a resolute young fellow steps up to the great bully, the world, and takes him boldly by the beard, he is often surprised to find it comes off in his hand, and that it was only tied on to scare away the timid adventurers. There is great beauty in going through life fearlessly. Half our fears are baseless, the other half discreditable. The absent danger greater still appears less fears he who is near the thing he fears. Fear always springs from ignorance. He who fears being conquered is sure of defeat. The wounded limb shrinks from the gentlest touch, and to the nervous the smallest shadow excites alarm. Neither a man nor a crowd, nor a nation can be trusted to act humanely, or to think sanely under the influence of a great fear. No passion so effectively robs the mind of all its powers of acting and reasoning as fear. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance. It is better by noble boldness to run the risk of being subjects to half the evils we anticipate than to remain in cowardly listlessness for fear of what might happen. Fear makes the wolf bigger than he is. Fear, like courage, is contagious. It must be resisted as soon as shown. He who fears something gives it power over him. We are more often frightened than hurt. Our troubles spring more often from fancy than reality. He who fears he shall suffer already suffers what he fears. Fear to let fall a drop and you spill a lot. There are those who are scrupulously afraid of doing wrong that they seldom venture to do anything. The most drastic and usually the most effective remedy for fear is direct action. Just as courage imperils life, fear protects it. A good scare is worth more to a man than good advice. It is only the fear of God which can deliver us from the fear of men. Fear not that thy life should come to an end, but rather fear that it shall never have a beginning. Were the diver to think on the jaws of the shark, he would never lay hands on the precious pearl. He that will not sail till all dangers are over must never put to sea. As a rule, what is out of sight disturbs men's minds more seriously than what they see. The concessions of the weak are the concessions of fear. Knowledge is the antidote to fear. To fear the examination of any proposition appears to me an intellectual and moral palsy that may ever hinder the firm grasping of any substance whatever. Once men are caught up in an event, they cease to be afraid. Only the unknown frightens men. Better hazard once than be always in fear. I don't like these cold, precise, perfect people who, in order not to speak wrong, never speak at all, and in order not to do wrong, do nothing. I will have no man in my boat, said Starbuck, who is not afraid of a whale. By this he seemed to mean not only that the most reliable and most useful courage was that which arises from the fair estimation of the encountered peril, but that the utterly fearless man is a far more dangerous comrade than a coward. He feared man so little because he feared God so much. The timid fear before danger, the cowardly in the midst of it, and the courageous after it's over. He who fears to suffer, suffers from fear. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we often might win by fearing to attempt. If your case is just, if your principles are pure, and if your conduct is prudent, you need not fear the multitude of opposing hosts. Those who fear nothing, love nothing. If evils come not, then our fears are vain, and if they do, fear but augments the pain. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Every man is scared in his first battle. If he says he's not, he's a liar. Some men are cowards, but they fight the same as the brave men, or they get the hell slammed out of them watching men fight who are just as scared as they are. The real hero is the man who fights even though he is scared. Audacity augments courage, hesitation, fear. The great masses of people are timid by nature, and thereby danger is invariably exaggerated. Which quote in this video was your favorite? Share your opinion in the comments below. Don't miss out on a chance to see the next video showing on the screen. Also, make sure to subscribe and enable all notifications. Our channel can help you awaken to a life of purpose and presence through the famous words of wisdom from history.